Hi, today is Monday the 5th of July. It's a public holiday in the US, and this is a weekly recap. For a change, I'm starting with a potential entry for the September cycle. As you can see, if I go back to a more quote-unquote normal entry, and here I take that, of course, this is not the right closing price for Friday. This is a Thursday's close, some little issue with one, and I am placing a standard 100/75 broken butterfly, and I place it with the upper long just above the money, virtual money, because it is Thursday's close. And this is not exactly what I like. I can understand that if you believe the market is going to keep being bullish, losing volatility, it could be a fair entry. I have mentioned over and over that the Rhino is a trade you must massage and adapt to your own risk preferences and trading style, and I prefer a more conservative one because I don't want to move too many parts. I'm trading now a larger account, and it's just easier. So for my type of entry, considering now that we have a strong support on 42.20 and even 41.40, I would probably put my upper longs around here. As you can see, the delta is flat. Of course, putting my combos OTM, I do have to forfeit a lot of theta. But this is a fair entry. It's not overly conservative because we are only about 200 points, which is, 5-6%, and we could have a pullback soon. So I would probably enter a size 3 broken butterflies per tranche. I don't have any capital constraints, as we're going to see on current cycles with this. This is not a problem at all. Now, if the market is showing signs of maybe peaking, I could go for a 2 broken butterfly entry. So this is my first thought. Entry should have been on Friday. It's going to be this week and not necessarily tomorrow, Tuesday. We will see. Volatility is not very enticing at the moment. Anyway, this is my thoughts of the last few days about the next entry. Now let's go back to July. July has been de-risked, basically taking capital off the table. If we look at the trade log, here we see that I've de-risked over the last week and on 22nd and 20th and 29th. There's really not much really. It's just de-risking the trade just to use less than 10k, and I even dropped it to 4.2k. So this trade is really, there's nothing. I could even close 5 cents here for the CCS and about 15 cents here for the PCS. The trade could be closed. Really, it's again the trading style, not moving too many pieces, maybe being a little bit stingy on commissions, but basically I can leave with 4k for another week and a half. So this is how the trade is. Let's not forget that I've got 1.5 leverage here. So if I make $700, it's about effectively $1,100, which is good. I mean, it's 2 to 3%. So I'm in line with my mandate. Now, August has been a little bit frustrating. It could be partly due to keeping June too long and being close to maxed out on capital usage. So I was maybe a little slow, but also the volatility environment is not very exciting. That said, by keeping some negative Vega north of the money, the market kept grinding up, but I am benefiting from more negative Vega here. So the T+0 with a -3 delta, basically it kept fairly stable. The profit line hasn't moved in the last week or so. Last week I did a PCS roll. Of course, if I had been a little bit more bullish, I could have done just a straight PCS, but the PCS roll was safe enough. I didn't want to add Vega pressure when volatility was getting lower. So I got, I think, 1.35 credit times 2. So I managed to raise the upper expression line, or basically the tent, a bit. My CCS are not performing. Basically, they are now at 90 cents, and I sold them for 55, so this is not really good. That being said, at 45.75, they are still pretty safe. And I check my vol skew again, and maybe surprisingly, but that's also an indication that medium-term volatility has not dropped as much, because the vol skew for August has not moved up as much as I thought it would. Basically, the trough is still around 4,500. I would have thought with the market shooting up, the trough would have moved up with it, but not as much as I thought. Secondly, in lower volatility, the skew is flatter, and it is still looking okay. So maybe it is an indication that the market is not betting too much over the medium term towards the continuation of the bull rally. I was just checking whether I would get a vol skew, but on a public holiday, it's not calculated by IB. So this is a screenshot I took on the 1st, so on Thursday last week, and we see, of course, July is no problem, but here we see that the trough on August is still around 4,500 or above. So I would say if the market moves up another 50 points, and assuming that we don't have much of an abnormal move of the trough, we still have about 50 points. So considering that the strong resistance now on SPX is 43.80, I do not have a strong incentive to close or roll my CCS. That being said, I may still roll it preventively now that if the cost is okay, and pay for it with the PCS. Now let's go back to the August trade. So on this one, I will probably go for a PCS either up here or on 3900. And as I just said, if I do roll, it could be something like this in the form of a called butterfly. So this is something I could do that does not yield much. I still would like to get to $700. So if I can avoid doing the CCS roll, that would be even better. I don't have much of a capital constraint. I could go for more. After 35 or 28 DTE, I would be less concerned about the Vega pressure. But this time, I will be very careful, and I'd rather do this if the volatility comes back a little bit. Volatility may have bottomed with VIX around 15, which is a fair level for a market at all-time highs. So it could be done, but more conservatively, I'd like a little bit of a vol pop. Okay, that is it for now. There will be updates on Slack as usual. Maybe when market reopen, I will record a little something tomorrow morning European time. As always, thank you for watching, and if you're not there yet, please join the Rhino Slack group where you will get more regular updates. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.